And it's an interesting question also, because it's like, can a digital house be the same price as an actual house? And that was a debate that I actually asked myself before I minted the piece.
The amount of carbon footprint that creates. So how does that come into the picture of when we're looking at cryptocurrencies and NFTs in long term?
It's a sale. It's a fire sale. So actually, if you're smart, you would be accumulating.
Talking about the monetary part of it, cryptocurrency took a huge hit this week.
You're not understanding what art is. This is a major game changer in art. It's never been like this before.
Subscribe to Blessedarch for your dose of art, architecture, and design, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Hey yo guys, welcome back to Blessedarch, and today on the channel I have with me artist Krista Kim, who sold her virtual house, the Mars house, as an NFT for $500,000. Now before we start this conversation, I have actually made another video about NFTs, about the blockchain, and how this technology will affect the future of architecture. So I recommend you watch that first because it'll give you a better understanding of everything we are talking about in this interview. Now without further wait, let's go to Krista. Now, before we start the interview, I just wanted to let you know that Blessedarch is on Patreon. Once you become a patron, you not only get access to bonus videos, like the extended conversation from this video as well, but you will help support Blessedarch and make the community bigger and more connected with people all over the world. So do consider supporting. The link is in the description below. Now, let's start our conversation. Hey Krista, it's great to have you on the channel. It's so amazing to connect with you. I've been reading up and I've been seeing a lot of your work, and I think it's an amazing opportunity I have today to share your work with my audience as well.
Oh, thank you so much. It's very kind. Thank you for having me on.
All right, so our discussion today, will revolve around your work, and then about NFTs in general and how artists are using NFTs all over the world. So, but before we get into anything else, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your background?
So I'm Canadian. My background is Korean. I was born in Canada, and I studied political science as my major in university. So that's probably explains why I'm really sort of into the broader political dynamics of art and the creation of art and the world in general, and how it affects art and philosophy also. For me, my art is really a process of healing, and uh, it's really a practice of meditativeness and encountering the sublime. And I really wanted to discover that how can you create a sublime experience digitally, right? And that was my thesis, light and the sublime, during my master's studies.
So, I wanted to get into, one of our main topics for today. Let's talk about the Mars house. So, how did you conceive it, and tell us about, selling it as an NFT?
So during the height of the COVID crisis, during the lockdowns, I was inspired to create my dream home. And my dream home basically is a home that has LED substrates for the entire ceiling and walls, ceiling and floor. And actually, I predict that they'll also become walls, because micro LED technology has really come a long way. So I believe that instead of just having screens in the house, that we'll actually have substrates architecturally integrated into our homes. So this is the concept that I created, and I wanted it to be, of course, minimalist, and I wanted the art to be the main experience of the home and the main feature of the home. So really, the home is like an art sculpture, if you will. And we're actually having plans to build Mars House. And building the physical Mars House will become like a weekend retreat in a secluded place where you can stay for a weekend, 3 days and 4 nights, and simply enjoy the healing home. A house can heal. So what if the home and the technology in the house can actually sense the user and sense the guest, and create positive states of consciousness using color, light, and sound? Okay, so I completed the project between March and May of last year. And then my intention was to actually create my own brand of meditative design to go into interior design, like the furniture that you see in the house. I wanted to create my own product line, if you will, and of art furniture and create projects around that, and also interior concepts. And then, of course, December rolls around, and I was researching Bitcoin and Ethereum for my own personal investments. I didn't really know what they were before. And then I went down the rabbit hole of decentralization. And so I began to research art blockchain, and I discovered there were NFTs. And then I researched NFTs and I found super rare. I immediately applied for super rare on the spot that same day in December. And then I was whitelisted for the February intake. And I minted my first artwork in February. And then Mars House was minted in March. Before I minted it, I thought, well, theoretically, we can actually create Mars House as a digital house. And I saw the broader community of NFTs, and I thought, my goodness, things are changing so quickly. I believe the concept of actually having a digital house for sale to experience as an augmented reality or virtual reality immersive house that we own. Now that's a possibility. So that's when I decided to actually mint Mars House as the first VR NFT house for sale as a VR AR installation.
That is one of the things that I want to know. Like, so legit, Mars House was one of the first NFTs that you created. Like, you did not dabble in NFTs before that.
Yeah, it was one of my first. One of my first, indeed.
What attracted and caught everybody's eyes is the $500,000 that you sold the Mars House for. So tell me about that. What do you make of that?
Right there, there's a lot of there is, I mean, of course, the price is warranted as a work of art that is historically significant and basically is a bold statement about, NFTs, the future of NFTs and AR, right? It's a statement about where we are right now in our lifetime, right? AOI, who is the owner of the piece, when we actually began communicating after his first initial bids on the Mars House, he basically, he's interested in investing in artists, not just the work of art in itself. And so we had a very long, like 2-hour conversation about everything I was speaking about here, and of course my vision of the future. And for me, I really believe that right now we're in a crossroads where the artist becomes a leader, a cultural leader, and becomes how would you say, a visionary for the future. Because right now we are in uncharted territory as a civilization. When you look at the way we used to live before COVID-19, we were simply repeating the past, the way things were done before. But now we have switched into a civilization where we are now experimenting with the way things have never been done. So how do we navigate this future that's a blank canvas? Well, we need visionaries who can see what is not there, what is possible. And only artists and entrepreneurs, people who have this virtual reality mind, can actually create the future, right? So I believe really that it's an investment into my future as an artist and my vision. And of course, the work of art is a very wise investment for the collector. But I actually believe right now that every artist should really consider thinking about the future of humanity, the future of our world, what it will look like, and having a clear definition of that. But at the same time, it has to be, a utopian vision, because that's our job. Real life sucks. Real life is hard. But what the artist does is we create hope and a positive vision for the future for people to strive for and then actually create. And it's an interesting question also, because it's like, can a digital house be the same price as an actual house? And that was a debate that I actually asked myself before I minted the piece. I knew that the work would be a groundbreaking piece just for the argument alone, but then commanding the price that it has really solidifies the thesis that we are entering into a whole new paradigm of what is valued, what is the concept of value, and what is our, even the concept of money, and switching from currency to crypto, and the power shift, between the old world and the crypto revolution. And of course, what will the future look like when we have an augmented reality lifestyle? What will people buy? What do people value, right? So, will the digital become more valuable than the physical? But these are all questions that we're asking ourselves. We're trying to work it out. Blockchain and smart contracts creates value and monetization of digital assets. How far can that go? Right? What does that mean? And where can we take that? And what are the applications and use cases in the real world, for those theories and for those objects that we're paying for? Um, the world is changing so quickly. So yeah, it's a very exciting time.
So I want to know, as an artist, and for artists all over the world, what doors does the option of having NFTs open, if any?
A lot. Um, Number one is that we have sovereignty over our careers. In the past, in the system of the past, it was mostly art agents and galleries that controlled the market. They were the intermediaries. They would promote the work and they would establish the market. So they would also establish the paradigms by which art was appreciated and art was produced. And so you had pictures on a wall, and that was considered art because it was a commodity. It was a product, a luxury good, if you will, and it was bought and sold. Uh, Now, that completely was the paradigm of what art was over the past hundreds of years, right? Products that we buy and sell. But what I believe with the NFT is that the artist becomes the sovereign creator and the leader of their own careers and the vision that they're bringing into the world. The NFT is a powerful vehicle, not only for giving artists capital and social capital for their work, but the actual message behind the work. And if you have a broader philosophy behind what you do, then you're going straight to the community and to the world at large through the NFT, instead of waiting to be seen during an exhibition. You receive percentages of royalties of your art that's sold. That's power going back to the hands of the artists. So this is a major game changer in art. It's never been like this before.
Speaking of uh, the part where you talked about, when you are in a gallery, you sort of the galleries have their commissions as well. Talking
Yeah.
about the monetary part of it, cryptocurrency took a huge hit this week or past 1.5 week. Since NFTs are bought and sold via cryptocurrency, what does that mean for someone, let's say an artist who's selling their stuff?
Well, the same goes for the traditional art market. When the stock markets crash, it's the same. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you're purchasing art, you're thinking long term. I personally don't think that it's wise to flip art. I think that's really distasteful, and I think that you're not understanding what art is, right? It's not something that you buy and then resell. Okay. I think that it's an investment in culture. It's a long-term investment. And I think that it's something where it's contributing to society. I look at it differently. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the fiat currencies and you have investments in the stock market, it's the same. And the cryptocurrency markets are also very closely linked to the S&P 500. So what I would say is this: the crypto revolution is here, and there will be volatility in the market. But if you're thinking about a long-term strategy with the cryptocurrencies and also with NFT art, then you will win. But if you're thinking short-term, of course, there will be ebbs and flows, market cycles. But I believe that this is a long-term strategy, just like Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. It's a sale, it's a fire sale. So actually, if you're smart, you would be accumulating. And the same goes for NFTs in this particular time, because this is the most unique period in human history, probably for art, that you'll encounter ever, because NFTs are brand new and we are entering a completely different phase of human civilization, a transition. So the art that you collect in this moment within 10 years obviously is going to be valued for more.
Now, that's actually very interesting to hear. And talking about all the positives that we talk about, one negative that comes with it, as we talked about, social change, we also need to talk about environmental change that comes with it. And one huge problem with NFTs, with cryptocurrency that is talked about, is the amount of carbon footprint that creates. So how does that come into the picture of when we're looking at cryptocurrencies and NFTs in long term?
Well, we have to look at it at the very beginning of the technology. Okay, just like cars used to be gas guzzlers in the beginning, and now we have Tesla. Now we have electric cars, batteries that power cars. We are at the stage where we are using the gas guzzler, and eventually it's going to be upgraded technologically into the Tesla. So it's just a matter of time. Technological innovation takes a bit of time, but we are moving forward in an exponential rate. I believe this is a short-term pain for long-term gain. I believe that the crypto revolution is probably the best solution to sustainability and joining the crypto revolution, period, than staying on the fiat standard. The fiat standard is it's oil and gas money, right? And it's also funding war. So if you really look at the broader macroeconomic structures of finance and money, then you'll understand that going into cryptocurrencies long term, and the shift of wealth transfer in the world from concentrated elites to the people will actually make political decisions more accountable to the wishes of the people. And I believe that the majority of people in the world want sustainability. We want to see change, real change, but we haven't seen it. Why? Because we're not empowered. We don't have the capital or the political power to make that change, because whoever has the money has the power. So the crypto revolution and decentralization are it's a movement that will actually result in greater sustainability in the environment in the long term, but you've got to give it a bit of time.
So one final question that I had for you today, and this is sort of something that I ask all the speakers that come into the channel, is basically for advice. And for you, I just want to know, somebody who doesn't understand the crypto worlds or NFTs, but is an artist, what would be your advice to them?
So if you're an artist and you're new to the NFT space, I would advise that you do some research, that you go on all the different platforms and you do your research and you find out which platform is right for you as an artist. And I would start right away. I wouldn't wait to be whitelisted necessarily. I would start planning your strategy for how you're going to, create your drops. What is your voice? How can you create a space in the NFT world for your work? And that takes time. I wouldn't rush into it, but I wouldn't delay either. I wouldn't, just leave it for a year. I would actually begin experimenting and really mint your best work. And there's so many different kinds of platforms that are coming out now. There's Wax that allows you to mint for very low minting fees. Rareables, very easy to get on. If you're going to apply for whitelisting on Super Rare, yes. Apply for whitelisting on Known Origin, Maker's Place, all of these platforms. But don't necessarily wait for yes. It would take a long time. It depends on where you are in your career as an artist. If you're already an established artist, I would start to communicate with them right away and show them your portfolio and really get on Twitter and communicate with their teams. And of course, if they find that you're a good fit, then they'll let you come on board. But otherwise, I wouldn't just wait. I would actually start experimenting, mint your best work, have a plan, try to digitize your work. If you have physical paintings, eventually you'll be able to pair them, pair digital and physical. You can still do that. There's a lot of that going on even on Super Rare, where artists are offering the physical paintings with the digital. And but pay attention also to the 3D augmented reality space. Super World is an exciting app because you don't necessarily have to be an artist to mint really cool 3D objects and sell them as NFTs for augmented reality. People will, collect really cool collectibles, and they'll do it even though it's not an artwork. They'll do it just because it makes their heart sing. They'll collect beautiful things that they like, just like how they express themselves with tattoos. I think that that's a very exciting space, and Super World is worth looking into. The NFT salon is actually opening up very soon. It's still in beta stage, so within a month, there will be an NFT salon fully functioning, and that's exciting. So keep your eye out. There are so many new NFT platforms that are opening up, and it's a really amazing growing community.
Thank you so much for that advice, Krista. And thank you so much for taking out the time to come to the channel and answer all our questions.
Thank you for having me.
And that was it, you guys. That was my conversation with artist Krista Kim. What did you think about everything we discussed in the video? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, to share this video, and to subscribe to Blessedarch. If you wish to support this channel through Patreon, you can find the link in the description below. And yeah, that was it. I will see you guys soon with more such content. Bye bye.